Hi, I'm Aneesah Iqbal and I'm here with Source TV. I'm currently standing here with Kirstie Logan. She just won Miss Coventry 2015. So Kirstie, you say that you were nominated for Miss Coventry and you won Miss Coventry. How do you feel about that?
Overwhelmed. It was the most incredible experience ever. I was really nervous on the day because I walked in not expecting to win, and I was there with my friend Roisin, who was first runner-up last year and is the current Miss Warwickshire GB. So I thought, just have a good day, it'll be fine. I conditioned myself all day to think I'd be first runner-up or second runner-up. Yeah. And then the final three were called on the stage. They called for third place, who was a girl who was just amazing. And I thought, oh, that means I'm either second or first. And then Roisin and I were sort of stood there like, it's going to be us, it's going to be us. And she said to me, it'll be you. And I said, no. And then when they called me, I just didn't know what to do. I just stood there for what felt like an eternity and just looked at the audience. And she was pushing me, Roisin, going, take your moment, take your moment. So I had to walk up and get my crown. And I was just so confused. I just sort of stood there, sort of like, it was brilliant, really good. Really
so
good
even though you've won the Miss Coventry 2015, this wasn't your first time, was it?
No, not at all. No, I've been entering beauty competitions since I was 18. I've won 4 or 5 of them now, but I was Miss Coventry 2010 for the Miss England competition, and I placed in the top 15 at Miss England. I was the first Miss Coventry to do so, and it was an incredible experience again. Completely different to Miss Great Britain, but it's something which there's a lot to offer in each sort of competition and each organisation. So I wanted to do it again, but I thought I needed to get my degree out of the way, and that's why I've waited till now.
So in terms of your degree, so we know that you're into beauty pageants and stuff. Outside of the whole beauty era, what do you do?
Well, I work sort of in politics. I chair Coventry and Warwickshire Young Labour. I've been working at the House of Commons in various shadow cabinet offices, including for the former Shadow Defence Secretary Verlin Coker. I've been working for Colleen Fletcher MP, for Geoffrey Robinson, Andy Burnham, who is of course now in the leadership race for Labour. My degree, my first degree, my bachelor, was in international relations and politics. And I graduated from that in November 2014. And I'm now doing a master's.
So now that you're doing your master's and you're still competing in beauty pageants, do you think that being in today's society, it can impact on people differently? So you have yourself as this political figure, but you're in beauty pageants too. How do you plan on challenging those stereotypes?
I think it's quite a backward view that people have, that beauty and intelligence can't be mutually exclusive, or that they're mutually exclusive. If you take the Miss USA contestants, if you win a state pageant like Miss Florida USA, Miss California USA, you win your college, university fees paid for. There is a huge emphasis on philanthropy over there. There's a huge emphasis on communications, on business. And we don't have that in the United Kingdom. Girls enter beauty pageants and there isn't that same kind of, skills development platform. And it's a real shame because there is a lot of opportunity for a young woman to go into a beauty pageant, to use her title to do a lot of good work for charity, to bring awareness to certain causes that she's passionate about, and to really understand how the media work. So, for me, it was a great opportunity because I had to speak in front of about 150 people on the spot, just like I am with you right now, and I was really nervous. And that is not something you can prepare for, and the questions are quite challenging.
Yeah.
There is some good to come out of these things, and one of them is that you do learn transferable skills if you put your mind to it. You learn eloquence, elegance, deportment, punctuality. You learn how to respect yourself and respect others, and how to treat people with kindness. And I think that is something that should be celebrated.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, you said that in the US, they really stay on top of these things. They pay for the tuition fees and stuff. Do you feel that? Because personally, I feel as well that the UK, they kind of copy what US do in terms of traditions, like Halloween, just cultural events and things that we do, like proms. proms they wouldn't have existed like 100 years ago in England. They wouldn't have been as big as they are now, and we're definitely copying and imitating the US. So do you think that should in some respect be imported in the way that they see women here, so they can have a bit of everything, so they can be political if they want to, they can be studying medicine if they want to, but still be going into beauty pageants, still talking about beauty and doing what they love?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, no organisation has made that move across to quite a radical shift in the sense of going towards education and business and the rest of it. However, we are seeing girls, the current Miss England, Karina Terrell, she is a fifth-year medical student at Cambridge University.
Really?
The current Miss World, Miss South Africa, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she is a trainee doctor as well. Every year you have, most of the girls in the competition have degrees. The girls that don't work have their own businesses, they're entrepreneurs, they're girls that do a lot of charity work. There is an emphasis on being dedicated and motivated and successful. But I think it would be really good if some more kind of emphasis from the United States model of how pageants work could be incorporated into the British counterpart.
So in terms of these beauty pageants that you participate in, you're obviously quite close with the girls that are in there too. Do they study too, or do they just solely focus on their beauty careers? Because you've said that you want to challenge the stereotypes and you want to show that women can do everything. But for yourself personally, how do you want to get rid of that? What's your aim to get rid of that oppression and the demeaning ways that people have of women in society? How do you plan to make a move? What do you want to put your stamp on to recognise that you can make a difference?
Okay, well, first of all, yes, they do all study. My runner-up, Roisin Gibney, is a graduate of Coventry University. Including me, there was 3 graduates of Coventry University in the top 5. One of them is a nursing student. It's very important what you do because it shows your dedication in other fields and other spheres. A lot of girls tend to go into beauty pageants after they've graduated or after they've left a job and they're looking for something else to do because, of course, it gives you a lot of experience in the communications and media industry. Insofar as what I'd like to do to challenge it, I'm quite interested in the whole debate about feminism. I would like to wade in on the subject a little bit more at a later date. It's very interesting. I'm formulating an argument myself at the moment. Where do I stand on it? I'm not impressed with people like Germaine Greer, who are very well known in their fields. But earlier this year she attacked Miss England, and I thought it was uncalled for. I thought it was completely out of character for somebody that is so respected in so many ways.
What did she attack her for?
For being a beauty queen and being a medical student. But I think the thing about life is that it's very short, and that is emphasised a lot in the Miss Great Britain pageant because we support Rainbow's Children's Hospice for children that are terminally ill. And when you are working with children that are going to die and that don't have a lot of time left, you really get to understand how important life is, how important happiness is. And if you think about what drives you, it should be happiness and success. And for me, what I'd really like to do is point out to people that, just because I'm a beauty queen doesn't mean I'm thick. I'm doing it because I'm happy. It gives me a lot of happiness. I make a lot of friends. I'd like to get more into media. I'd like to do a lot more with radio, TV, and the press, really to get across that women can have more than one hobby, and it is a right for women to want to do whatever they want. And as long as they're not sort of doing things which are against the law, so to speak, it should be my right to say, I'm going to put a crown on, I'm going to enter this competition, I'm going to make friends, and I'm going to have a great time in an evening dress. I'm going to raise charity too. So insofar as that, as long as I'm doing a lot of work in the press, as long as I'm formulating a campaign which really puts women out there and which really celebrates everything that beauty pageants are about. There are negativities with beauty pageants.
Definitely.
There really are, and I can argue both ways. And I think anybody who says that there isn't is blind. However, there's good points and bad points with every field you come across. If you look at politics, let's think about all the scandals that you have, MPs' expenses, all these terrible things that you see in the paper. Does that stop people voting? Does that stop people wanting to become politicians? No. So there's always another sort of perspective to challenge.
Yeah. And I'd like to leave on this note. What advice do you give to people, for young girls like ourselves in university, in college, who know they're super intelligent and they're quite academic, but they also have a passion to participate in beauty pageants and beauty events, or even basic things like starting up a beauty blog, but feel like they will be criticised for it and they're just hiding under their shell a bit? What advice would you give to them as someone who's trying to make that difference?
That's a really interesting question, because I started this at the age of 17. I was a plus size model. I was a size 16 and I got signed to a modelling agency. And, so I've grown up in the industry. My politics degree came quite late in that respect. But I have a resilience, and I just don't care what people think of me. And I think more people need to be like that, because there's that saying, isn't there? Sticks and stones may break my bones. But if you've got success, motivation, determination, and unparalleled belief in yourself, and if you know that you can succeed, and if you think that what you're doing is right, it doesn't hurt anybody else, and what you're doing will promote something fantastic, every girl should go for it. As much as I'm a feminist, I'm also somebody that really appreciates equal opportunities, individuality, and the whole idea of people being able to fulfill ambitions without having any barriers in their way. But if somebody does put a barrier in your way, just say, I'm going to jump it, I'm going to get over it, and I'm going to succeed. So that's my advice.
I feel like joining a beauty pageant now. You've motivated me, and I wasn't even into beauty pageants before. It was lovely talking to you. It was so nice meeting you.
Thank you so much.
That's all we have for today, so thank you. Bye.